Brett Cooper looks like Snow White in this promo, whereas you can't really say the same thing about Rachel Zegler.
How do you describe that experience?
I know, it's so weird and like not okay.
When I tell you that it's hard, I just mean to be inside my brain. And I'm there 24/7, I can't get out of it.
The Daily Wire is clapping back at Rachel Zegler and Disney by making their own version of Snow White starring Brett Cooper. And Rachel Zegler seems to be enraged about the competition. You won't believe what Brett Cooper had to say about Rachel Zegler's Snow White and why Rachel is absolutely furious with her. The Daily Wire has decided that enough is enough and that Disney has been messing up for way too long now, which is why they decided to take things into their own hands by creating a new version of Snow White that is accurate to the original Walt Disney story, as a big F you to Rachel and the current producer.
Attempting something huge. We're going up against Disney. We have our critics, but we have passion and we have a mission in mind that is bigger than just this movie. And it might be crazy, but we are having a ton of fun and people are very excited.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was originally made in 1937 by the visionary Walt Disney. This animated masterpiece didn't just tell a tale. It marked a seismic cultural shift in the realms of storytelling and animation, which is why it's so incredibly high regarded. This wasn't just something that reminds fans of their childhoods, but it's also an incredibly important piece of history. Disney's Snow White was a transformative force, transcending the limits of its time and leaving a mark on cinema with its extremely rich story full of love, friendship, and trials. The film's enchanting narrative and awe-inspiring visuals captured the hearts of audiences across generations. It wasn't merely a box office success, it set a new standard for animated storytelling, establishing Disney as a trailblazer. However, the roots of Snow White's story stretch beyond the magical realms of Disney. The Brothers Grimm, German storytellers, were the ones to come up with the original fairy tale in 1812. Their rendition introduced timeless elements: the envious stepmother, the poisoned apple, and the prince's life-saving kiss. Disney's adaptation breathed new life into these ageless themes, creating a visually stunning interpretation that preserved Snow White's enduring charm for generations. And this is exactly why controversy stirred as Disney announced a live-action reimagining of this classic narrative. The casting of Rachel Zegler, a Latina actress, as Snow White has sparked intense scrutiny, especially from fans who question the decision in light of the tale's German origins. The debate intensifies as Rachel has even been very open about the fact that the story would be stirring away from those original elements that made up the traditional prince rescues princess with true love narrative, steering the ship towards a more feminist storytelling approach.
Does this mean that it's no longer 1937 and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince?
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
Fans, deeply rooted in the historical and cultural origins of Snow White, expressed their concern over the liberties taken in this new adaptation. The Brothers Grimm, being German, imparted a distinct cultural flavor to the original story. Some even argued that altering this foundation by casting Rachel, regardless of her undeniable talent both in acting and in singing as she has proved several times, might actually dilute the essence of the tale. It's not even about undermining Rachel's abilities, but rather a desire to respect the narrative's cultural roots, as Rachel could no doubt find many other roles that would not only suit her better looks-wise, but also story-wise. Disney's decision to transform Snow White into a more feminist narrative adds another layer to the debate, as this really doesn't seem as the appropriate story to modernize, seeing as these key elements were not only an incredibly important part of the plot, but were also very culturally significant for the time it was made in. This seems to bring dishonor to Walt Disney's original vision, since while embracing feminism in storytelling is something to praise, the challenge lies in balancing innovation while still respecting the source material. This is exactly why critics worry that straying too far from the original narrative may compromise the timeless appeal that has made Snow White a beloved tale for centuries, especially seeing as many are already unhappy with the directions that the movie has taken before even being able to see it. The controversy becomes a delicate dance between progress and preservation. Disney, a powerhouse in the entertainment industry, has to navigate the fine line between cultural sensitivity and creative innovation, which it absolutely seems to be failing at. This is why fans seem so excited about the Daily Wire's new announcement, as fans can't wait to see a reimagining that pays homage to the cultural origins of Snow White while embracing the evolving dynamics of modern storytelling. It's not even just the story's main themes regarding love that have been problematic for the movie, as fans were also incredibly disappointed to hear that Disney had decided to replace its iconic and extremely necessary dwarfs with magical creatures. In fact, fans were so enraged about all of Disney's decisions that they actually managed to make a change as Disney decided to push back the release of the movie in order to bring the dwarfs back to life. This only proved one thing to fans: Disney is afraid of backlash, which is why it's getting more and more clear that letting Rachel spill all her mean words regarding the original movie might not have been the best marketing move. The Daily Wire has also been extremely aware of this, as they obviously decided that they could do a way better job than Disney, seeing as they were already struggling to keep their audience, which is why they decided to offer their own take on the movie starring Brett Cooper. As Brett herself revealed, this movie would be not only accurate to its original, but the modern twist on it would in no way be political or feministic, as the Daily Wire believes that you can make modern stories without offending anyone the way Disney is doing.
That really is the main point. We're not trying to turn Snow White into something that it's not. We're not trying to turn Snow White into a MAGA conservative movie. We're just trying to represent the values that Snow White is based in, the timeless values that we all loved growing up that are sadly being forgotten in this new adaptation.
The conservative platform even decided to launch its own streaming service for children, where the movie will one day be available on in order to protect these traditional politic-less values that the original Snow White movie was trying to portray. In fact, members of the platform have already commented on the backlash Disney has gotten, especially now that an alternative will be hitting the market. Even David Hand, who worked as a Disney designer in the 1990s and also happens to be the son of one of the original film's directors, has commented on how badly Disney has screwed up with Snow White and has even called the movie insulting because of its harsh changes and drastic shift in storytelling themes. In fact, David even believes that this is insulting to Disney's own legacy and even his own father, who had worked on the original movie. This is exactly the sort of thing that Brett Cooper herself has also been trying to highlight, as she also firmly believes that Rachel's views and changes are entirely wrong. Now, people from all over the world have shared their excitement concerning Brett's project, as they believe that this is something that could genuinely honor the Snow White they know and love, and something that their kids could love just as much as they did growing up. Fans left tons of encouraging comments saying things like, "Can't wait to see it. This is definitely a Snow White I'll watch with my 5-year-old daughter. I cannot wait to see your version. I grew up reading the Grimm's Tale, and I am glad you guys are sticking to the source material. This makes me so happy. Congratulations on becoming Snow White. This will be a true classic, a masterpiece. The world needs this. So thank you, Brett, for you and the great people at The Wire." One thing that especially seemed to stick with fans was the fact that Brett reinforced the fact that they are in no way trying to cater to woke audiences the way that Rachel had been doing in all of her interviews, and that they would be respecting those traditional values.
You're right, we don't give a crap about being woke, but more importantly, our creative team actually gives a crap about the source material. They want to tell the original story with the values and the themes that made the Grimm brothers fairy tale so famous and important to begin with. Values like love and kindness and friendship and inner beauty versus vanity and romance, for Pete's sake, because apparently that's missing in 2023.
However, with how loud Brett decided to be about her own views, just as Rachel had been. It's no wonder that this movie has received a lot of attention online, most of it overwhelmingly positive, which can't be said about Rachel's version. And it looks like it might have even reached Rachel herself, especially seeing as Brett directly addressed her several times in her video, talking about her own role. According to a secret source, Rachel was allegedly completely raged that this new movie was even being made, especially considering Brett had so many things to say about her character. According to a source, Rachel allegedly said, "Mine was better," as she really shared exactly how she feels regarding this new project. However, Rachel herself has not made any public comment on her own social media or in interviews, which is why many aren't sure if they can believe this statement. However, one thing's for sure, and that's the fact that Rachel and Disney will surely never publicly acknowledge Brett's version, not only because it would look back for PR, but it would also most likely be an uphill battle, as most people seem to be completely in love with Brett's character and the Daily Wire's vision. Some people even believe that Rachel's supposed reaction means that she's jealous of Brett's success with her movie, considering that she's gotten so much backlash because of her role that she literally had to beg people to stop sending her hate.
But it's hard. And it's lonely. It's very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will be okay.
This was pretty shocking to see, considering she seems to have brought all of this on herself just because of her own words. What do you guys think regarding this new anti-woke Snow White? Let me know down below, and don't forget to check out this other video.